All right, here we go. And we've got Rose de Jamal from Les Indemodables. And if you've been keeping up with the live streams, you know I've been wearing a lot of Rose Soliflores this spring because I think it's a perfect match. Rose and spring. There's not a better match. And this is one of the greats, one of the favorites in my collection. I've got a lot of Rose Soliflores here. I'm going to show you. They're all great and I love them all nonetheless, but this is something special. This is a high quality rose. This a lot of brands claim to use naturals in their perfumes, which is great. Fair enough, you're allowed to. However, Les Indemodables back that claim up with the specifications of all the naturals that go into every single bottle. This is 5% pure rose oil. That comes from the farmer, Jamal, and he's been awarded with his name going on the bottle. They've named this perfumer after their rose farmer that provides the Rose Absolute. Jamal, great tribute. Thank you, Jamal, for all the wonderful rose oil you provide to us. So this is a rose soliflore, so meaning the theme, the composition is all about rose with a little bit of supporting notes here and there, but rose is the dominant floral. Rose is the icon of all flowers, one of my favorite flowers, and I've had a love affair with rose since I first gotten into perfume, and that love affair has kind of come and gone. You know, it's disappeared in my search for other flowers like jasmine or hyacinth or tuberose, but this year for me it's all about rose again, and I'm not sure, but it's the perfect match. So this is a high quality rose. It's very nuanced and deep and layered and textured and doesn't go through a whole lot of transitions because it is all rose and I get rose from the top to the bottom. A very fresh, natural smelling rose, complemented by mint. The mint here never really gets mentholated. It doesn't get toothpastey. It doesn't get dental flossy. It's more just to help balance that rose, just to add a little bit more freshness to contrast those sharp cutting lines of lavender. The lavender is a little bit herbaceous and woody, and the cutting lines of the cedar. So you got fresh rose and mint, very smooth, very well-rounded materials contrasting lavender and cedar. Again, like lavender and rose are both oftentimes associated with old lady perfumes. Old lady. I know it's derogatory, but that's... And when I say old lady, I say that in the most complimenting way, not to offend anybody. You know, they're associated with shampoo. They're associated with soap, like Old English lavender soap, Old English rose soap or shampoo. I don't get any of that here. This, to me, it might be a little bit rose hand lotion in the opening. There's some warmth and creaminess coming from somewhere. Very creamy, but I don't get that dated soap or shampoo. This is slightly fruity. There's the perfumers added some fruity touches to this that are unlisted notes. I get unlisted tea and I get unlisted what I believe to be apple, sour crab apple, maybe even sour pineapple. But there is some fruitiness to this, and it is sour. There's no sweetness, and with that lack of sweetness, that lack of sweet fruits takes away my vision of red roses. And because it is kind of this, it's supported with mint and tea and apple, I see pink rose bouquets, right? Very pink rose bouquets. I don't see anything. There's no sweetness here. Maybe some natural sweetness. Florals are very, I mean, a rose has got some fruity sweetness to it. If you ever take a rose petal, right, from the garden, I'll go in my dad's backyard and peel the petals off of his roses and roll them up in my fingers like this and between my fingers and squeeze the oils out, and I'll smell them, and they are slightly suedy, they are fruity, they're a little bit dry, right? And a little bit sour as well, but you can pick up the fruitiness from them. And that's what I get here, right? Suedy, fruity, sour rose petals. That lasts, you know, right from the beginning to the start. So I love this. This to me is perfect for spring. It's very evocative of rose. It's not like you know, if I'm looking at a canvas, I don't see specifically a rose, a stem, leaves, roots, ground, the sun, the blue sky behind. This is more from the perspective of being the rose itself and observing outwards, right? You are the rose in this perfume. You are the rose. You are the perfume. Opposed to looking at a rose. You're observing the universe from the rose's perspective. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like I'm so connected and rooted inside of this rose that I am the rose, which is fantastic. I've not quite come across a rose perfume as beautiful as this one. This is great. Okay, so some other roses that I am enjoying, some of my favorites, okay? This is Hermessence's Rosy Ikebana, which is rose and rhubarb, fruity rhubarb. Some musks. Louis Vuitton, this is Les Sables Roses, which is rose and saffron. They claim there's some oud in here. I don't really get a whole lot of oud, but that's what it is. I didn't always like this. It took me a while to come around to this, and now I'm enjoying it, you know, quite a bit. This is another very fresh, this is more soapy, shampooy rose and musks. This is from the Alchemist Garden, Gucci's A Song for the Rose. Nice. I really like this. And this is, I know I've gone in hard against Francois Demichet over the years. This is La Colle Noire. I think this is one of his better perfumes. This is rose and woods. This is, again, more soapy and shampooy. They claim to be oud in here, but, you know, it's more woods than anything else. It's not skanky or hard to wear oud. Guerlain's Rose Barbare, which is rose and creamy vanilla. Le Labo's Rose 31 for spring, which is a very spicy, woody rose. Slightly dirty, frankincense, a lot of incense in here. This is interesting. I like this. I wouldn't consider this specifically a rose soliflor. There's a lot going on, but this is beautiful for spring as well. Amouage's Lyric Man, lime, rose, vanilla incense. I really like this. This is really Angelica root, really beautiful. L'Artisan Parfumeurs. This is a very light rose and vanilla. Very, very light perfume. Nice for spring. Zaharoff's Signature Rosé. This is rose and violet mostly to me, with wood notes, a little bit sweet, really nice, real musky, some nice musks. And again, this might not be a rose soliflor, but this is Celine's La Peau Nue, which is iris and rose, powdery vanilla. So it's like rosé powder. This is, you know, kind of what I would consider old-fashioned, dated, but again, it's beautiful. Rose, vanilla, musk, and powdery iris. There you go. Those are some of my favorites, but this one really stands out for me. It's a really beautiful, very gorgeous rose fragrance. There you go. Some of my favorites. Rose de Jamal. Let me know what your thoughts on this are. If you've tried it, I always love reading your comments. I love seeing your faces in the comments. And thank you for watching. We'll see you all again soon.